How's it going, YouTube family? It's your man, Mr. Controversy, coming back to you with some more greatness. So we all know about the immigrants coming through. Well, I know not immigrants, illegal immigrants coming through the Eagle Pass, Arizona, California, just crossing the border. So one of the big questions, I've been trying to figure out and constantly asking is like, how are these people getting there? If they're leaving their countries to earn more money, how are they able to pay two, three, $4,000 to get, some of them get, they get a ride there using a you know, little coyotes, which is just the runners that actually get them to the border. And, whether it means them cutting through the wall for them to get through to the other side, but it's where are they getting this money from? And if you see the clothes that they're wearing coming in, it ain't like they wearing no tattered clothing, worn out shoes, and anything. They come in some good clothes. Actually, they coming in with clothes looking better than what our homeless people are wearing. So my question is, where is money's coming from? So apparently, there's actually a report that is actually the UN is funding the illegal immigrants. So they're actually the ones giving the money. They're the ones giving the visa cards, which is allowing them to pretty much have like freedom of movement once they get in, once in the U.S. and they get to whether it's Chicago or New York. Um, I'm sure you've seen them riding around on all these scooters, no driver's license. So if it was us, if it was, you know, a citizen driving without a license, we will, get a ticket. They can't afford the ticket, so they're not gonna write them a ticket. So more than likely, they probably just taking the scooters, impounding them, or whatever they're doing with it. But my question is, how are they even getting them? So they're renting them from somebody. Someone is funding it for them. So my question on that is, who's funding it? What's the blowback for them? Giving it to them because they're riding out with no license, which means they probably have, which for a fact is they have no insurance. So people are complaining. I know here in Texas, a lot of people's complaining about their car insurance like skyrocketing. It's going up, and the reason it's going up is because when you have uninsured people hitting people with insurance, your insurance company is now liable, is pretty much liable for the accident because you have that uninsured or underinsured insurance as well. So you're soaking up, the blunt of it. I know El Paso is big for it. I lived down there for a while, and they say, you ever seen anybody with a license plate that says Chihuahua, like haul butt, get away from them. I've seen them literally run into the back of somebody, back up and pull off and haul back to get back across Mexico. So, no, that's one of the issues that you're looking at. So far as within your states, your insurance is gonna go up. I mean, you funding them anyway. You giving them a free vacation to stay in 4 or 5 star hotels and all this good stuff that our citizens, homeless citizens, are unable to get themselves. So I did find a clip, that actually with the expert that actually reveals he's actually found where this money is coming from and what's being done. So we're gonna go ahead and switch over to that and see what he's talking about.
Welcome back. Well, illegal border crossings break a new record with CBP reporting over 300,000 encounters in December, the highest month ever recorded.
Yeah, and our next guest outlined in a new op-ed how it could be impacting your wallet.
Todd Bensman is a senior fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies, and he joins us now. Todd, tell us how this crisis, which is a crisis that has been acknowledged almost by everyone except for the President of the United States, affects everyone's wallet.
Well, for one thing, they're not just coming here on their own dime. The United Nations, it turns out, is spending hundreds of millions of dollars in cash handouts, food, shelter, something called humanitarian transportation, really every human need that is required to make the long journey through Latin America, Central America, and Mexico. And who pays the UN? Who's the UN's major funder? It's the U.S. taxpayer is paying for this. How do we know this? Because there's a brand new budget document that the UN puts out for 2024. They're going to spend $1.6 billion to help 3 million illegal immigrants move through 17 different countries of Latin America and the Caribbean and Mexico. And that includes $370 million in cash cards, debit cards, $25 million in transportation assistance to help them move through. And the budget document also clearly shows that they are witting, that they know that these are illegal immigrants and that they are moving illegally through their own member states. And they're using 248 NGOs to help hand out the cash.
Go ahead.
Well, Todd, I was going to say, first of all, the UN is 0 for 2 with us this morning. But this money is supposed to go to legitimate asylum seekers. What's the vetting process like?
That's a big mystery, but I've been down at the border. I've been to these way stations. I've interviewed the illegal immigrants who are receiving this. I've had them show me their debit cards, the whole thing. They say that it's for the most vulnerable, but they're planning to hand out debit cards and cash equivalents to 624,000 illegal immigrants in 2024. None of them look particularly vulnerable to me. I mean, a lot of them are grown men, they're adults. They don't seem weak or sick or anything like that. They say it's for the most vulnerable, but I don't see it. I'm sure there are some vulnerable people that are receiving this cash aid, but I also think that they just want to help as many illegal immigrants as possible move to the United States, and they know it and they say it in the budget document, which is linked in my New York Post and the Center for Immigration Studies piece that I published on this matter.
I think you're exactly right. There's an agenda there. So just to be clear for our audience, we're funding the UN. The UN is funding people in Central America who they deem to be vulnerable, even if they're not vulnerable, to make the trek to the United States with our taxpayer dollars.
There's a little bit of irony there. Yes, and some Republicans have been angry about this ever since it was revealed that we're just handing out all this cash along the way, that our United Nations is doing this. Look, a lot of the money is earmarked by the White House, by the State Department, and goes straight to the United Nations High Commission on Refugees, UNHCR, and the IOM, the International Organization for Migration. That's the pass-through, but there's 15 other UN agencies that are involved as well.
Wow. Well, Todd, thanks for doing the spade work on this.
Illuminating.
We're dig in even more.
Todd.
Scary.
So as you can see, it's, hold on, let me switch over to the big screen. So as you can see,
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
we are paying.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe.
So as you can see, our tax dollars is funding them. You can't make this shit up. So not are we only support, we support them when they come into the U.S. with our tax dollars, free medical. And by the way, if you're a veteran, FYI, the reason a lot of your claims aren't being processed is because the migrants have priority. So they are now doing their claims, filing their stuff over your claims. So if you've been waiting on your claims to be filed through the VA, that is why. if I was you, I'd research that because that is actually something that's currently going on. So we funding them when they get here, and we funding them when they get and we funding them to come to come to the U.S. So we getting double tapped. Hey, the land of the home, free and the brave, huh? How is it? Give us your sick, give us your poor, and we taking every damn thing they giving us, and we the ones paying for it. So the gentleman who wrote, was it Todd Bensman? So this is his actual article. I'm not going to social intelligence, but what I'm going to do is I am going to drop the link for that in the description. It's actually a good read. There's a lot of good information in here. You know, it even has the UN's 2024 game plan. Here you have, you know, this gentleman here, you know, Nicaraguan, and this was from 2022, but, you know, on his way to the U.S. showed the UN cash card. So, they say we pay for everything. So, you know, like ask, you know, tell me what you think down in the comments about this whole thing. You know, where you foresee this going. Like you said, I know there are military age guys coming in. That was the first thing I noticed. There are way more single males of a military age than there are women and children that have a male with them. But all these young men so-called seeking asylum. So if you look, like I say, if you look where you're going, a lot of these guys, they go into what I call soft states. Soft state is Chicago, New York. Any place who gun laws where the criminals can have some type of seem to carry the guns, but you as a law-abiding citizen, you can't have them. That's what I consider a soft target. Texas, you already know how we roll here. Everyone who's able to have some type of protection based off the Second Amendment, and people gotta understand the Second Amendment is something totally different than what people assume it is. You might want to actually read it because it actually dealt with the militias, them allowed to have arms in the event something happened where they could take up arms, form a small military, which were the militias, to help the militaries fight or to defend the areas. That's what it was for. It wasn't a thing where everybody can just willy-nilly have a gun or have some type of firearm. So, like I said, you know, tell me what you think down in the comments about this whole thing. Where you foresee this going? I say, me personally, we about to send some folks across the water, and I hate for them to go, because I was once in their boots, you know, going through the same thing, constant, multiple deployments. Look for, you know, for reasons, which I know is about money, but, you know, me being a capitalist, sometimes you have to find a way to work things for you, you know, to kind of work in your favor. Do whatever you can, you know, do what you gotta do to take care of your families. But next I do want to talk about is the issues that we still got on with Texas, with, you know, with the federal and Biden so-called saying that he's going to do something. And what I have to say to that is,
why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Biden ain't gonna do nothing. He gonna walk around lost, looking like a toddler, wait for somebody, whether it's the Joint Chief or somebody, to grab his arm or his wife to show him where he needs to be going. It's going to take for the next president to fix all this crap, whoever it may be. If it's him, all I got to say, everyone who voted for him, who would vote for him a second time, they need to put you on the island by yourselves, along with him. and let them govern you while y'all sitting over there and try to figure things out. But other than that, this Mr. Controversy, I'm out. And like I say, I like to hear what you guys have to say. So